We'll do it live.
Nobody is on chat yet. But pay attention because they might show up on chat. Okay. All right. For the people who are watching this in the future, because there's not currently anybody in chat, welcome to our channel. It's Sunday Funday. Normally we're in the Gaming Geek Discord, but we wanted to hop on and paint a little bit. I'm here today, and along with me is my younger brother, Christian, who has never painted before. Is that correct?
That is very much correct.
We're going to paint some starships. These are the core fleet from a creator named Leo is making on Colts 3D. We 3D printed these at their original scale a while ago. We just never painted them. And while I was cleaning up the printing room, because we have way too many orders. By the way, if you're a customer of ours on Etsy in the last week or so, thank you very much for ordering from us. We are totally swamped, and that's the best feeling that we can possibly have. Okay, so core fleet. These ships are designed for use with one-page rules, and if you look at their bases, you can totally see what they're going for there. So this is the base for these two ships, and then the base for these ships are smaller, and then the same size base for the fighters, which are right here. We need to paint more fighters. We actually have a sample list for these ships that we built in the Army Builder, or in Army Forge, which we'll probably put in the description. Okay, so Christian's got a whole stack of new cheap paints. He's got a dry palette. He's got a little napkin to dry off his excuse me, his paints. Christian, you're only probably going to use their paintbrush protectors. You're probably only going to use a couple brushes. I would recommend my brother. For what we're doing here, you probably want this guy for your base coats.
Okay.
We're going to say this guy for, this is number 3, Royal number 3, for your non-metallic details, and probably this guy for your metallic details. If you paint a lot online, people will tell you that you need to have separate paint water for refreshing your metallics, or your brushes that you use metallics with. Some people do. You don't have to.
I am very new at this. So.
Yeah. There's no wrong answer.
Except for all the above.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wrong answer, but there's no wrong answer. So, I'm going to be using my Citadel transparent paints, my contrast paints. Christian is going to be using Army Painter Speedpoint 2.0, and we're going to get going. All
right.
So let's look at what we got in chat. Shirgal says, you are live. Ross Taylor says, hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
All 4 concurrent viewers that we currently have. I hope you can hear us well. Streamlabs says that they can see us, or that the waveform is bouncing. Little bouncy waveform.
Yeah, waveform.
Okay, so earlier today, we primed all of these with a Rust-Oleum primer. Let me see. We primed all of them with this satin stone gray, which we've used in the past to good effect. It works. It's not perfect, but it works. And I base coated these 3. This is Plague Bearer Flesh, which Vex, remember I said you had a gross green. This is similar to that gross green. This one is painted in Apothecary White, which this is a very old bottle of Apothecary White. This is their first generation Apothecary White. So it's not fantastic. It's almost done though. So the coverage on this isn't marvelous. And then this is Space Wolves Gray, which is actually a really nice gray. If you're doing like DS9 or First Contact era Star Trek ships, this is a good base layer to lay down. Yeah, so let's get going. I think I like these 3 different colors that we've used. So, Christian, go ahead and start with getting that paintbrush wet. And then kind of swirl it around, get it in there. That's a brand new paintbrush, so it's a synthetic paintbrush, so it's the fibers are made out of plastic, basically.
Oh.
Or some kind of polymer. I'm using a similar one. Mine's a little bit bigger than yours, but it is about the same. And take off the excess water out of your brush on the napkin. There you go. Kind of squish it. Make sure like the fibers are like
Yeah, we got it.
soft. And I would pick a base coat. Think about it and put a few drops of that in your dry palette, and yeah, give it a shake. With that vortex mixer,
That thing does move.
yeah, it definitely moves. We had to uproot our. I mean, our stuff is normally a huge mess, but it's even more of a mess because we had to set up the painting area for Vex or for Christian, and we're using like a powered USB extension cable to get his webcam working. Okay, so these are 3 colors that we got: Apothecary White, Space Wolves Gray, and then Plaguebearer Flesh. I like all 3 of them. I've painted a lot using Apothecary White and a lot using Space Wolves Gray, so I'm kind of leaning on Plaguebearer Flesh as the base coat for these ships. Do you guys have an opinion? Chat, do you have an opinion about what we should be using? Here's some more contrast paints.
Okay.
More blues, I guess. Salud. Chat is silent. Hey, gorgeous. Can you make sure you can hear me on YouTube? Because I haven't gotten any feedback from anybody.
I thought I heard you say someone said you're live.
Yes. They're on, click on the link in the family chat. All right. Oh, people can't hear us. Okay. I don't have an opinion. I'm new to painting ships. What's your theory for washing between the panels?
Right link.
Well, it's not the right link.
I'm trying to see a link in the family chat.
Go all the way to the bottom.
Nope. Pops explains starts.
Did I not hit go on that? I'm an idiot. Okay, so there's several different theories.
No, you had it previous to that. Sunday fun vacation.
Washing between panels. My theory for washing between panels are there's different ways to do it. So on something that has lots of panels like this, you can use a traditional wash like Nuln Oil on there. Or if you're very good, you can use something like Tamiya Panel Liner and use this. This is basically just an oil wash or an enamel wash as opposed to an acrylic wash like Nuln Oil. Or, like we're doing today, you see how these panels are highlighted? This is just highlighted by the contrast paint itself. So, I'll show you on here. Now, Christian's going to use a palette, and I'm going to paint out straight out of the pot, and that's only because the convenience of the Citadel pots allows you to do that pretty well. I'm going to go on here, and I'm just going to grab a whole mess of this paint. I'm going to load up my paintbrush. And Christian, you want to make sure that you don't get paint in the end of the brush where the metal meets.
Okay.
The metal is a ferrule,
Okay.
and you don't want paint drying that far up on your brush.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to slop this on. And the beauty of contrast paint is contrast paint is almost because it's flowy, it's more flowy than normal paint. It's just going to go in everywhere and it's going to highlight the panels its own way. Like you could see on here, this is the same paint where it's highlighted much darker on here, much lighter on here. And I went just all blobby with it and got it in there. So Christian, if you want to paint, just paint with abandon. Throw that paint on your thing, and with contrast paints, you don't have to be very careful.
Okay.
Because we're gonna wait for it to dry to do the guns and stuff. Ross, to answer your question, I haven't decided yet what color I'm going to use on the engine glow.
So wait, which one's the contrast paint?
They're all of those are transparent
all.
paints.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all transparent paints.
So I just need to take this one that I've already got going and just go to town.
Yeah, go to town on it. I will probably, if Shadowcat shows up, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some P3 Arcane Blue. If not, I'll probably use a transparent yellow or a transparent red for my engine glow. Now, we supported these nose down, so there are some print artifacts here. Not on this one, but on a couple of them. And the reason why we're not super concerned about that is because... And I had someone ask me the other day what my orientation for printing was, and it depends wildly on the thing that I'm printing. But on most of the ships that I print, I'm gonna do nose down because on the tabletop, if you're looking at it from a tabletop perspective, you spend way more time looking at your starship's ass than you do anything else. So I'm going to favor the orientation that preserves the engine block more than I'm going to do the nose. But I mean, with modern supports, even automatic supports, there's not a lot to worry about. So, okay, I'm gonna set this in here. Actually, we're gonna ignore this part where we're holding it on the bottom for now. We'll go back and do that later. I want to get this paint on here and get it in its drying process because the next step is to do the detailing on specific parts of the ships, armor panel, or the detail panels, the guns, that stuff. We're going to do all that in metallic, and we want this dry. So I'm going to set the medium ship aside, because these are designed for one-page rules. No, Steven, these are... There's a link in the description. This is called the Core Fleet. It's by a guy named Leo is Making, and it's designed for one-page rules warfleets, Grimdark Future warfleets. It comes in 3 classes and fighters. So you have small, medium, large, and then fighters. And that fits like the general idea of the one-page rules system. It's on 32mm bases and 60mm bases. The bases are 3D printed in FDM. They're in PLA, so they're melted plastic. And then the ships themselves are printed in resin on our Elegoo Saturn II using Soriatech resin. If you want to support our channel and you are already a 3D printer, buy resin using our link in our channel videos, and we get credit for that. Globbing this on, very globby, not being too careful.
Well, I was worried for a little bit about the texturing, and it looks like this texturing it's going really well.
Yeah.
I try to do this digitally. I can't do it.
Well, paneling is like doing this in 3D modeling. I can't speak to that because I haven't done that very well. I could barely draw basic shapes in 3D modeling. I'm not the modeler. I'm a printer. Someday, if we were to do this as a full-time job with Etsy and with YouTube, we would have to learn modeling to get that sweet like Patreon revenue. But as it is, there's enough other creators out there that I don't really have to worry about that.
Alright.
Okay, so the bottom's done. Let's throw some paint on the top one. Okay, let's see here. Ross Taylor says, I've repainted a lot of Armada Imperial stuff as Imperial Gray, so I've done plenty of light wash. Engines have been blue with white or yellow around with orange. Seen any other cool engine flares? Man, if you can handle like a shading in a way that like has a gradient between a darker color and a light color, you could technically use any color for engine shading. We do a lot of cheating with, I mean, it's not really cheating, but we do a lot of shortcuts with contrasts, because contrasts already lead themselves to the light in the higher panels and the dark in the lower panels. But like, you could use any color. You could even use this green. Really, it's just a matter of like what story you're telling with your painting that will lead you to what you want. Like, for instance, on the Mandalorian ships that I've printed, a lot of their engines are yellow, and my thought process, the story that I'm telling with that, is that in the Mandalorian sector, in my version of Star Wars, they have access to different materials for fuels, so their engines burn different fuels than a normal Imperial ship that uses blue or red if you're doing a Super Star Destroyer. So really, it's the story that you tell. Vex, why don't you repaint this one as well? Just paint over the top of this with the color that you're choosing.
Okay.
So you have a small, medium, and large ship.
Alright.
So while these two dry for a little bit, I'm going to start detailing the small one. But yeah, your painting should tell a story. One of the creators that we sell 3D prints for him just showed me a new version of his Imperial Star Destroyer. His old version, it's Ethan Leroy. That's you could buy his STLs on Resin Engine, or you can buy his ships from our channel. Our channel is the exclusive 3D printer in the U.S. at least for Ethan Leroy starships. And he just showed me a new version of his Imperial Star Destroyer, Imperial 1 Star Destroyer, based on Rogue One, and his paneling is fantastic. Before, his paneling was kind of bland, but his new stuff is really good. It's different paneling than you see on the O'Neill Creations Star Destroyers. I have an example of the O'Neill Creations. Nope, this is an official one. Okay, so here's the official Imperial Star Destroyer. With O'Neill Creations, you see a lot more smaller panels. And on the old version of Ethan Leroy's, it's only big panels. And the only big panels leads it to be a little boring, his old one. But, I mean, it's a good model. It's a great model. It's better than basically any free model out there. But it's a little boring when you compare it to the O'Neill Creations one. And his new one is a excellent mix of small panels and big panels that makes it look really good. On his new one, the ISD-1 weapons are pointing different directions, and his bridge looks really nice. We'll have that printed in a while. We have a huge backlog on Etsy right now, so we're trying to make sure that everything's printed for orders before we start printing new stuff. But you'll see that eventually. And I asked him about the interdictor, because the interdictor is the only Star Destroyer of his, or ISD Imperial class Star Destroyer that we sell. And when he gets the interdictor, we will switch our interdictor to that one. Hope everyone's had a good New Year. It's ending the first week of the new year, and we're doing great. We posted our last giveaway of 2023, or the first giveaway of 2024, with the Zan Consortium Mega Pack. If you haven't already watched that video, go watch that video. Go listen to how you enter it, so you can have a chance to win that. We're very excited for that crazy big giveaway that we're doing. So far, that video, our goal, one of the goals we have for 2024 is to upload 48 videos, which this live stream will help us achieve. And we want to hit 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 public watch hours so we can achieve monetization on our channel. That giveaway video, it has so far, let's see here, video performance. That video by itself is responsible for 18 subscribers. So we're only 80 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. The public watch hours are going to take a lot longer, but with the content that we have planned, especially going over the one-page rules factions and how to play them on in Warfleets, and how to like represent them on the tabletop using different generic fleets like these ones, that should help with the watch hours. Okay, so on the small ship we have guns, 1, 2, 3, and we have these little side doors, and then that looks like a hangar. That might also be a hangar, but that definitely looks like a hangar. So we're gonna do these guns in metallic, and we're gonna do the hangars in probably a glowing blue, maybe a glowing red. We're gonna do these in probably, we'll do these in the normal boring, this is not actually lead belcher, this is like craft paint gunmetal with flow aid and medium in it. And then we'll probably do these in brass or retributor armor. Well, we'll do retributor armor because it's been a long time since we used that on the channel. And then we're going to do the engine glow. With this color, I think we want to have something that really contrasts with this. So we're probably going to use a red, like a light red from, oh, maybe Doomfang Magenta. And then, or definitely the blue. The P3 Arcane Blue. Looking at chat, Rudiger said, yeah, those are some pretty rad models in the Zan pack. Yeah, those are, I mean, to be able to say that we have all of the ships from the Zan Consortium, except for a couple, like, small ships that are, I think, relatively irrelevant, or, excuse me, irrelevant, is awesome. So I'm really excited to give away all those ships. You know, with the aggressor, we even have the Keldabe right here. One of our. This is the Zan Consortium variant of the Keldabe. In the video, I think we have the painted Mandalorian version of the Keldabe. But yeah, we're very excited to put that together. Alrighty, so let's put some metallics on some guns. Stephen Bennett says, yeah, I had a great start to the year. I just TO'd a 17-player Armada Store Championship. What championship did you play in, Stephen? I feel like a little bit of a fraud because I've never played Armada. Like, I love the Armada models, but I've played them in full thrust, and now I'm going to be using Warfleets. The only Armada event that I've ever gone to is the run. If you watch the video on the channel where we went to Warzone Houston, me and my brother, Christian, the gentleman who's painting with us for the first time, yeah, this is the first time I've been to an Armada event, and it was awesome. That whole, like, I had never been to a gaming convention before. That whole scene was amazing. It was great. I loved it so much. There were so many talented painters there, and players, and games. It was great. I loved it. Okay, I'm gonna paint the border of this engine. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna paint this gunmetal. And the coverage doesn't really matter because we're gonna paint over this with our whatever engine glow paint we decide on. Probably Doomfang Magenta. Okay, so there's that. There appears to be a 3D printing artifact. Steven says, I helped run Tri-State Armada. We've been active for about a year now and have 80 plus members on the Discord server. If you could manage even half of that at store events, that would be amazing, Steven. And that's not a dig at Armada specifically. Starship games as a whole are a very small niche of miniature gaming. Very small niche. So if you can, having 17 players there is shocking to me, and in a good way, in a very good way. I think that's freaking awesome that you got 17 players there. Ooh, that Retributor armor is old. I don't think I'll be replacing this either because my family bought me, I can't remember which member of the family, but the family bought me a whole box of speed paint metallics for Christmas. I think that was Mom, or was that Will? Was that Angela? Might be Angela.
Might be Angela,
yeah. Yeah, it was one of the family members. Excuse me. Yeah, it looks much better. Steven says the tournament was Red Steel Gaming in Matawan. We're organizing games and events at multiple stores now, mostly in New Jersey. Only thing I know about New Jersey is that Red Bank is where Kevin Smith is from. Because I watched a lot of Comic Book Man when it was on. Was that
Don't ask me.
AMC? AMC.
Okay.
It was on AMC. I mean, I never watched it on AMC. I pirated it, but
I never watched any of it. So.
If you haven't, Christian, I think on Plex, I have Comic Book Man in our Plex server, and that's a hilarious show that's near and dear to my heart. All right, so we're gonna take a little break and look at what Vex is doing.
Keep calling me Vex when I'm not
Yeah.
Captain Vex form.
You know, you can pick up that stand and hold that in your hand while you're painting,
Ew.
like this. You can hold it just like that. Now it's a little wobbly, so it'll fall out if you tip it over, but you can hold it, and so you can
I realized
have better control.
I realized I did not show anyone what I was using for painting. So here's one. This is this one. I haven't touched it yet.
Okay.
I don't know. Does anybody see that?
Yeah. Kind of.
Blurry. Well, somebody will.
Is that, and what's the black color that you're
The
using?
other one?
Is that Gravelord Gray?
Is it Gravelord Gray? Or is it... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Gravelord Gray.
Yeah. So that's the dark gray Citadel, similar to Basilicanum Gray.
Yeah, I mostly use that on this one. I did not realize how easy it was to actually make it all dirty and stuff.
Yeah. And like with if you look at you could either go back and put another layer of paint on this,
On these turrets.
on right here where it's lighter gray. But if you're going for grimy, the patches work too. Like you could get in there, man. You could get more paint on that brush and just go to town on it.
Well, this is perfect because I'm working on a little project of my own involving modeling.
Yeah.
I
Speak up a little bit.
I'm actually working on something involving modeling my own ship, and for some odd reason I cannot do textures on Blender. So the newest version of Blender, everything before version 2.8, I can do very effectively. But then 2.8 happened, and it's like, wow, this is disturbingly hard.
Is it just a matter that they changed where like the settings view is? Like I'm assuming all the tools are still there.
Well, yeah, but most of it is hidden behind node editing.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Well, because it's a modeling software mostly focused on gaming, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I do have a previous version of Blender that I'm also using to experiment with gameplay and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but right now I'm thinking I'm doing this, and I'm thinking, I could just model my ship and have it 3D printed and then like paint it, and then just use photogrammetry to
Like pull the textures in off of the map.
yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Hey, we're gonna mute the microphone for like 5 seconds while I use my hair dryer to dry off my ships. I muted the main input, but I don't know if the webcam is also giving audio input. I guess we'll find out in about 30 seconds when people tell us in chat. Speaking of chat, Stephen Bennett said, but we get players from New York, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Red Bank is like 10 minutes away. I've been to Secret Stash. They got a bunch of the movie stuff there. Yeah. Stephen said, we have someone in our group doing a fantastic chimera from Ahsoka. Ooh, that's good to hear that it was muted. Are they using a Ahsoka model like the one that Mel's Miniatures released for Wes Jansen, or are they making it themselves? I really like the way that the Ahsoka chimera looks like it got damaged and they couldn't repair it, and they had to scrap stuff, and the way that they've used the gold. What's that Japanese style called, Christian? Where they repair broken pottery with gold?
I actually don't know that one.
It's Kintsu, how do I say it? Kintsugi. Kintsugi. Yeah. That's the way that it looks. Steven, I don't know if it lets you point a link in chat, but you could probably put a link shoot, where, I don't know where YouTube will let you put a link. I don't know. In Discord. It'll let you do it in Discord. Alright, so this is mostly dry. So we're going to hit an issue where we're going to reactivate some of these paints, but not all of them. So we can start with the medium ship. Now, actually, before we move on, we'll give it a little extra time to paint. What I am going to do, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to use Arcane Blue as the lighting for the hangars. And we're going to stick with the Doomfang Magenta for the engine glow. We're going to get our paintbrush wet. Throw some blue in there. And remember, even though we're teaching Christian how to paint today, I don't know what I'm doing. And if you're a fan of the video essayist movies with Mikey, no one knows what they're doing. All right. So there are our engine or our hangars for our fighters. Do either of the other ships have hangars? I guess that's a hangar. if we're gonna say this random box is a thing, that looks like a hangar. And then on the large ship, does this have a hangar? Not really. Oh, well, I guess this right here, yeah, you could call that a hangar. Maybe something up front, but definitely this guy on the side. Okay. If that's what we're assigning to it, that's what we're going to assign to it. All right, Doomfang Magenta for our engine glow. I'm going to use a different brush for this. I'm going to use my on its last leg Army Painter Regiment brush. I need to order either a new regiment brush or grab one of the brushes that I got for Christmas last year and use that instead. There's not a lot of color variation on this, so it's going to look basically the same. But there we go. That is our engine glow for our ships. Alrighty. Now that we've been given that time, actually, I don't need to wash my brush because the engine area on both the other ships should be dry. Go do the engine area on this guy. And then get in there, get in there. Engine area for the Big Chungus. Big Chungus.
Yo.
We're going to say that the whole engine area is overtaken by the glow. There we go. Alright. That is engine glow on all 3 ships done. Gonna grab this guy. And our... Where did it go? Where did it go? ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? No. Gunmetal. ¿Cómo se dice gunmetal? I don't have my Discord server done yet. I've been living in other Discord servers like the Armada one, the Star Wars Armada one that's run by Krabik, or the One Page Rules one. We have one that we had for our old gaming group, but that's not mine anymore, so I don't feel like I can co-opt it. I gave that to my brothers because I had a stupid temper tantrum about Destiny. Or my brother. I can't remember if it was my brother or if it was Destiny or if it was both. Christian, do you remember?
I remember it was Destiny. You were pretty vocal about the fact that the dungeons had a 40-second respawn timer.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, I was not very mature in my response to that, but I'm never going back to Destiny. Bungie doesn't get any more of my money.
Well, at some point I'm going to give up Destiny 2 because really...
Just Destiny 2, or...?
Well, I will try out Marathon if that ever comes out. And I'll try out their variant on Anthem.
Oh yeah, because they just got the
yeah, they bought
They bought the rights to Anthem, right?
They bought Anthem and they bought the technology behind Anthem, so they got the Frostbite engine.
Wait, the Frostbite engine is a DICE product.
Yes.
Did they buy DICE, or did they license Frostbite?
I think it's more likely that they licensed it.
Okay. Because DICE is owned by EA now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's owned by EA, but all the developers outside of DICE, though, do not like to use Frostbite.
I mean, I love the Battlefield games. Or, I mean, I didn't play 2042?
Yeah. It's not a bad game.
But, I mean, I loved Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't buy the police one.
Hardline.
Hardline.
It's, I love the episode Battlefield Friends where they talk about it. It's
Yes.
like, Battle Hardline. Is this a prank phone call? No, not ours, sir. I'm not playing that overpriced DLC. It's not DLC, sir. I beg to differ. Have you played it? No. How can you judge it? Because I just know.
I love Neebs Gaming. I watched their 5-hour long RPG adventure that they animated. I was very sad to hear when who died. It wasn't Duralius.
Wait, what?
One of the guys from Battlefield Friends died.
Oh crap! I did not hear that.
Shoot, who was it? I feel bad. Have a good day, Steven. Thanks for watching. Man, I feel bad not knowing this.
I feel bad that I'm just now getting this news. Guess how much I've been living under a rock.
It was thick.
Which one? Wait, which one was thick?
He was the. I don't know who he was in Battlefield Friends, but he's not Duralius and not Neebs.
Neebs is the one who actually plays the noob, right?
Yeah, Neebs is the noob. Duralius is the. Remember the guy who gets the X20 or X26 shotgun?
Oh no.
That's Duralius. No, that's Duralius. He's still alive.
He's alive.
I think. Man, I feel bad. I feel bad to the Neebs community that I don't know this.
Wait, I haven't heard the sniper guy in a long time.
Was he played by Thick? Let me see. Let's see. Where's that article that I did? He was 47.
Really?
He was recon in Battlefield Friends.
Oh, damn it.
I mean, people die,
Yes, they did.
and at least it fucking sucks, man. Cancer sucks ass. I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with that. What'd you say, sweetie? So much food. Before we started today, we got there's a local place that does gyros called Gregory's, and they really fill you up, man. They really fill you up with food.
Feed him till he dies.
Yeah.
Then stop.
It's spendy. Like, we spent $70 for 3 people. We got a free appetizer, a large fry, 2 imported sodas, and it was all incredibly good gyro. But I think we're getting to the point now where I don't feel comfortable going out to eat anymore, because I don't think I make enough money to be able to sustain that. And that sucks. It makes me quite upset that I feel that way. It's probably a good financial decision not to eat out, especially not to eat out all the time, to make it a treat. Like, when we were a kid, Christian, you remember, going out to eat was a treat.
Oh, yeah.
And I think my wife and I need to get back on that.
The mentality of it just being a treat.
Yeah, the mentality of it just being a treat. Exactly. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Am I even painting on stream or on frame?
Is my painting even noticeable? Here, let me just do this real quick. Let's put this here. Let's face these this way. And
It's hard to see. Do you want me to see if I can zoom it in more? Let's see if we can zoom Christian's camera in more. Thank you, Treagle. Gonna zoom in on Vex, on Christian. Come on. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to loosen that. I need to get that.
Okay, I can see the two gray and the one kind of brown.
Here, let's move it up a little bit more. We don't want your crotch, but we do want that. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the focus a little better. Nope. Nope, that is way worse. Way worse. All right. Let's see if we can get it to auto zoom or autofocus. Nope. I think next time we're going to have to use another DSLR. You have a DSLR, right?
Oh,
Like my Sony?
I've actually got something. I think.
Do you have something that does at least 1080p?
Yes.
Well, bring it over and bring your cam link over, and we'll use that instead of a webcam next time.
Okay.
All right. Zoom in a little more here. Okay. Did you all see the news that Mantic got a license from 343 Studios to produce a Halo miniatures game?
Ooh.
It's kind of exciting. You know, after Spartan Games went under with War Cradle, is it War Cradle? Buying their rights to their catalog. They didn't pick up any of the Halo games because that license reverted back to 343. So the community has been keeping alive, like Halo Fleet Command and Halo Ground Command. But with a new game coming from Mantic, I wonder what that's going to look like. I don't think it's going to be the same scale. I think there are rumors that it's a 40mm scale, so similar to like Star Wars Shatterpoint. But I think that's just a rumor. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me. I don't know. How long have we been going? We've been going for 48 minutes. Gad is saying they should be careful. That's what put Spartan Games out of business. You know, if they... I don't know what actually put Spartan out of business. Because you look at the trouble that Asmodee has had with AMG and Fantasy Flight with maintaining their catalog of stuff. Like, they've been very open about the fact that they're not producing new content for Armada, and they haven't since they got the license. So I don't know, like, on the small scale, since I'm on the very like the home cottage industry side of the scale of 3D of printing miniatures, I don't know what it takes to succeed in a larger group. But you would think that they have a lot of people. I think part of the issue with Armada is that if you look at 3D, okay, look at miniatures, all right? So miniatures, you have the main niche. And if you think miniatures, really almost everybody's mind is going to go to two things. They're either going to go to historicals, which is for old people. I love historicals, by the way. This isn't quite historical, but I'm getting into 10mm Lord of the Rings because I have a Wakes Emporium license for that. So I've got Uruk-hai, I've printed some Gondorians. And if you think miniatures, you probably are going to think the largest miniature company in the world, which is Warhammer. Okay. So anything that isn't Warhammer or historicals is already a smaller sub-niche of miniatures. Okay, and then you subdivide your niches for starships, and that's a pretty diverse. That's a hard demographic to capture because there's so many different kinds of miniatures. Like just on our tabletop, let's see here, we have Star Wars. All right, so that's one niche, and in the niche of Star Wars, you have both X-wing and Armada. And then you have Star Trek with Attack Wing and the single-player version of Attack Wing. This isn't an Attack Wing ship, but it's a Star Wars ship. By the way, this is the Metless Fleet Yards version of the Akira, which is a free 3D model that you can download. Someone converted all of his models from 3ds Max to STL, and you can download them on Thingiverse. And then, like, here's another smaller niche, Babylon 5. Here's a smaller niche, 3D printed starships is a smaller niche. So as you drill down, every time you drill down, the category of people that are looking at your stuff is smaller. So what it takes to make a company like AMG or Mantic or War Cradle or Fantasy Flight like successful is a lot more eyeballs on it than you would really think. Facifan says, oh no, we're gonna read sci-fi is best in 15mm because of the vehicles. You know, I kind of agree. I don't have any 15mm vehicles within arm's reach, but I do have some 6mm sci-fi. Right here, I've got some 6mm Clone Wars and rocket tanks and HMP gunships. And here is a ATTE, which you cannot see any of that. Oh my gosh, you can't see any of that. Let me zoom out. Here is a LAT in 6mm. So yeah. I like 6mm a lot. I like 8mm a lot. Here's a 3D printed 8mm. I think this is a Predator. Not sure. I got the Legion Imperialis box for Christmas. I haven't built anything out of it yet. So all the 8mm Warhammer stuff that I have handy is 3D printed. Like here's some dreadnoughts. Some other tanks. Yeah. So yeah, niches on niches. Gaddis Gaming says Star Trek Into the Unknown is pre-painted game coming in April. Yeah, pre-painted is a good deal for easy adoption. And it's even better when you look at Attack Wing hasn't had the best adoption rate. But because I mean their ships kind of look a little poopy, but they had the genius idea of selling the unpainted, just primed version of their ships and their painted version of their ships, so either niche could be fulfilled by that. Because repainting a ship is a big deal for some people. So offering a pre-painted one is a great adoption tool. But then offering one that's just primed, ready for paint is also a good adoption tool for the more hobbyist side of things. Fastafan says, love your channel. Got an Anycubic Photon Mono 2 a couple months ago. I've been printing some FASA Star Trek ships. Wish I had your talent. I enjoy your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I don't have any talent, but thank you so much. Like, you watched me do this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Waiting.
That looks good. You want to start doing detailing with metallics?
Give me a sec on that.
Get your like turrets or these little side panels there or something like that?
Give me a sec on that because I'm still working on the bottom.
All right.
I'm still working on the butt end.
Yeah, click, do that button. Gaddis Gaming says the scale on Attack Wing is awful. That's right. And let me tell you, man, 3D printing starships and getting into the scale discussion, I hate scale discussions. I hate them very much. But like, think about it. How do you scale? Here's 2 official Armada ships. How do you scale this well? I think Armada, while it's not set scaling, because if you turn this over, this ship should be able to fit in here. Like the sliding scale where this is 1 in 7,900 and this is like 1 in like 5,000 or 1 in 4,000 or something like that. That sliding scale makes sense to me, having good things on the table, which is why we've always, on our tabletop, scaled things to look good on the table next to Star Wars Armada. So, for instance, here is a 1 in 4,000 scale Klingon bird of prey next to an Imperial Star Destroyer. I think that looks pretty good on there. And then I think I've said this many, many, many times that, like, once you go in a universe and start scaling ships, those ships should be the same. So these are both the Akira and the Burrell are relative. They're close to the same scale. They're both around 1 in 4,000. But the same thing with these guys. This is also 1 in 4,000 for Expanse. But when you get into something like Babylon 5, this is 1 in 10,000 scale for Babylon 5. And almost all the ships that we print for Babylon 5 are in 1 in 10,000 scale. Same thing with Battlestar Galactica. But they all look good next to Star Wars Armada, and that is the goal. Or at least that's the goal for our tabletop.
I keep. I'm looking at the.
Gas Gaming says our Armada's sliding scale works. What were you saying, Christian?
I was just looking at the little monitor thing. I keep pulling these out to paint closer.
Yeah.
When I should be bringing them over here. Hello.
We should get you a next time you come over to paint and we get this all set up. We should get you an iPad on a stand, so you can see the camera closer than looking over the direction. But hey, guys, we are coming to the end. We want to thank you very much for joining us. Again, enter our contest, subscribe, leave a comment on the contest video, getting an entry in there. Make sure you enter to win that crazy $250 Zan Consortium Mega Pack that we'll be drawing at the 31st. We appreciate all the support that you give our channel. If you want to support us financially, find our Etsy link, go to our Etsy store, and if you see a starship that you like on our Etsy store, buy